Things continue to boil nicely for one. The Speaker of National Assembly, Moses Masika Wetangula. As of today, the Court of Appeal has made a decision in regards to a certain appeal that Moses Wetangula had appealed on a ruling by the High Court of Kenya in regards to its ruling on Azimio la Umoja majority status in the National Assembly. Now, this decision by the Court of Appeal has changed everything. Na hapa ndipo Moses Wetangula anaambiwa chuma chako kimotoni. As we get down to speak about it, as of today being the 21st of March, the year 2025, the Court of Appeal has declined to suspend a High Court ruling that declared the Azimio Party as the majority in the National Assembly, dealing a blow to Speaker Wetangula's effort to overturn the decision. Now, Wetangula had appealed the ruling, arguing that it had severely disrupted legislative functions. However, the court dismissed this claim, stating that there was no sufficient evidence to prove that parliamentary business had been paralyzed. I quote the judge. Even after the contested Speaker's ruling of 12 February 2025, the National Assembly has continued to discharge its duties, hell-bent with some acrimony. Now, the court further ruled that granting to a stay order would amount to prematurely endorsing the Speaker's decision, as the High Court had yet to determine whether it complied with its earlier judgment. Additionally, concerns that the ruling could lead to legal consequences, such as contempt of court proceedings against Speaker Wetangula, were dismissed. Now, the likelihood of a party being summoned to court to respond to an allegation of contempt of court and the attendant inconvenience or embarrassment that may be occasioned as a result is not sufficient reason to stay court proceedings, the court ruled. Now, with this decision, the dispute over the National Assembly's majority party remains unsolved, prolonging the legal battle. Now, this tells you but at the end of the day, the High Court will win, and the petitioners that petitioned that Azimio la Umoja were the majority in the National Assembly hold the cards. Why? Speaker Moses Wetangula dismissed a court ruling. He went ahead to hold his position and continue declaring Azimio la Umoja as, the Kenya Kwanza as the majority in parliament. Yet, in his own understanding, Speaker Moses Wetangula knows that that was a violation of the court order that had been given by the High Court of Kenya. Now, what does this declining of the appeal that Moses Wetangula had made to the National Assembly means? To the Court of Appeal means? It means that Speaker Moses Wetangula has to go back to the drawing board. And this time round, it is not about Azimio. It's about his future as the Speaker of the National Assembly. Because for him, he can't continue holding the position as the Speaker of the National Assembly, yet, according to the ruling made by the High Court, his decision is biased in a way because he still is the party leader of the Ford Kenya Party. And apart from that, we all know that currently the Kenya Kwanza and the Azimio la Umoja are working together. So for Raila Amolo Odinga to be fully compensated and to feel home in regards to the broad-based government signed MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, then Raila Amolo Odinga needs to be given the position of the Speaker of the National Assembly. And I have always told you that the campaign has been there secretly to have Otiende Amolo, the man who is referred to as the walking constitution, take up the role and the mantle of being the member of parliament, the Speaker of the National Assembly. Otiende Amolo is the current member of parliament of Rarienda constituency. Now, Moses Wetangula when he ruled and continued to uphold his decision that the Kenya Kwanza are the majority in parliament, that meant he was in violation of court, and that he can now be charged with a contempt of court. If he can be charged with a contempt of court, that tells us that he, Moses Wetangula, has a case to answer. So if he is in violation of the constitution that he serves, he cannot even continue holding that office as the Speaker of the National Assembly. And I tell you currently, President William Ruto cannot do anything to protect Moses Wetangula. And that is why I dare say that Moses Wetangula anakwenda kukipitia chuma chake kimotoni. Chuma chake kimotoni, because Raila Amolo Odinga is taking over. And he is not taking over partially this time round. He is taking over fully, both the executive and both the legislative, because he will have control over the Senate, the National Assembly, and the Cabinet of the Republic of Kenya. I mean, Raila Amolo Odinga surely will be having more powers than the President of the Republic of Kenya, because Ruto can't protect Moses Wetangula. What is Moses Wetangula offering currently? Another thing, Raila Amolo Odinga has requested the Cabinet Secretary of Health, who is a Moses Wetangula Cabinet Secretary, to be kicked out of the position that they hold. Now, clearly, as you can see, there is nothing that William Ruto wants from one Moses Wetangula currently. So, which means Moses Wetangula is disposable, and which means that there is no bargaining power that Wetangula has in this current regime. Wetangula is currently being kicked out of the executive and out of the legislature also. He will lose his position, and also he will have a case to answer for being in contempt of court. Zinaitwa siasa za Jamhuri ya Kenya. I mean, Raila Amolo Odinga has destabilized these people. And I tell you, Raila has a bone to chew with Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi. That is why Musalia Mudavadi is losing his position as the cabinet secretary, as the prime cabinet secretary to Raila Amolo Odinga. He will be demoted to the office of the foreign affairs minister, and ata continue kuserve huko in his role as the minister. But for Wetangula, Musalia Mudavadi hata akitoka anakwenda wapi? What influence does he have? Apart from that, when you look at Wetangula can walk out of this government na kesho mkute wa Munyoro. But it cannot happen that easily. He has to strategize. And strategizing, you might find Wetangula the next day is in Tawe movement joining one George Natambea. And that is how William Ruto will realize now mambo imeanza kuchamuka. But one thing that stands clear currently, Weta amepoteza nafasi yake kama Speaker wa National Assembly. And will the Azimio la Umoja fight to be the majority in parliament? No, they won't, because they already know they control the parliament, since Raila Amolo Odinga controls the executive and President William Ruto. So there is no need of more fights within Azimio la Umoja and Kenya Kwanza. Ni hayo kwa sasa dau. See you in our next video.